And welcome back. Our next guest is a film programmer and an Emmy Award-winning executive producer of acclaimed TV show Nueva York, 107.5 WBLS. And she joins us to spotlight the 12th Annual America's Film Festival of New York and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Diana Vargas. Diana, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Good, good,
It was
good.
a very interesting conversation that I
Yeah, I mean, it's so very, very important, and sometimes they're unforgotten,
amazing.
but, we're able to do a lot of the things that we do because of their service. They put their lives on the
Exactly.
line. They're
Exactly.
first responders. So tell us what you're doing and tell us a little bit more about the film festival and the whole nine.
Yes, the American Film Festival was created to bring films that were not only artistically compelling, but also emotionally resonant and socially relevant.
Uh-huh.
And this is the 12th year. And this year we were focused on stories that challenge that dominant narratives and trying to bring forward underrepresented voices from the Americas.
Yeah, and
And those themes.
yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
No, the themes were like we were that emerged, and that's amazing. It's like it strongly include memory and
Uh-huh.
historical truth and the mental health, like they were talking about. And I think it's a topic right now that everybody's looking for, to
Yeah.
connect and to know that they are not alone, and also migration,
Uh-huh.
intergenerational family dynamics, and the power of art as resistance.
And what were the main criteria you used to curate this year's film selection?
Uh, for me, like independent cinema is always this space that create the a safe net to bring the unseen and the unheard, the people that are invisible usually in the mainstream, formula. So we, and without compromise, that they can say, they can talk, they can be here, and they can be heard, and not feel like there is something behind saying no, you can't say those things. And
Yeah.
so we want complexity, nuance, and cultural authenticity. That's the importance on films that are independent and really trying to create that dialogue between communities and the societies, and also New Yorkers, because I think New York also is a place that was built by immigrants, and is full of stories of those immigrants in every corner. And the Americas are here in this small island. All the Americas you can see in every corner of the city.
Yeah, yeah. Now you've been working with TAFFNY. How has it evolved over the past 12 years, and what do you think sets this edition apart from the rest?
I think we start with like two things that are for us very important at this moment. The films, yes, the stories, and give that voice, but also to protect the institutions, the cultural institutions. We were created by This festival was created by the Division of Interdisciplinary Studies at CUNY, a city college. CUNY is a public university.
Yeah.
It's a diverse institution, and we believe in the power of storytelling, and also that providing that space for those visions to be shared. We are not just entertaining, but creating dialogue, amplifying voices, and also, as I said, the institutions that work with us, like the Instituto Cervantes, the National Museum of the American Indian, the consulates, the Colombian consulate, the Manhattan Network, Neighborhood Network, the Bildner Center. All of them are institutions that we also need to protect, and by going to them, by full the or to have all the seats full, we are protecting those institutions more than ever, because what is happening right now is what you see is that they are trying to carry back things like, the access to these stories, to these narratives that are very different from the mainstream that we are seeing now,
Yeah.
and the migrant
And,
communities.
and you've been doing this for some time now. Can you share your own background and career path, and how has it influenced your curatorial vision for TAFFNY?
Yes, thank you. I come from Cali, Colombia, and that city is breeds cinema. We are very passionate about uh, creating stories for films and for TV. And I started making documentaries at very young age, going out to the streets, looking for, listening to people. And but then when I came to New York, it struck me that there were a disconnection between those powerful stories that we were creating in those countries, and especially in my country. But I knew about the all Latin American movement, and here that what people thought about Latinos, or in those days they call it Hispanics,
Hispanics.
and that you will see that the realization pushed me to that lack of representation on the screens, pushed me to create these film festivals,
Yeah.
and to try to amplify those voices, our voices
Yeah.
actually.
And why do you believe it's important to spotlight a lot of the things that you're doing right about now?
Because I think we need to create, we need to kind of uh, create the narrative away from news that right now show us as people. There is this idea there are bad and good migrants, which is totally dangerous and totally unfair for people that have built, as I said, have built this country in many ways. And so for me to create, to bring these stories, is to make people to see the richness of being multicultural, to have different languages that you are exposed
Yeah.
to have the stories that are, like, you should be talking about, not discussing or not disputing about what is right or no on gender or race, or what is right to be, white, black. There is no a right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a way to be. And I think the movies create that dialogue in a more dynamic and clear way
Yeah.
for all of us.
And how does TAFFNY ensure representation from diverse regions of the Americas, including indigenous communities and voices from North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean?
For us, it's just like, if you see the films that we show, they are films that always represent the let's say the challenges that the societies are living in at that moment. At this moment, as I said before, you can see that they are looking for um, that place to talk about mental health, migration, and to talk about justice
Yeah.
and historical truth. And that's what it is important for us to have this. And this is a free event, I must say. No, so that's what is also important for younger generations of
Yeah.
Latinos or migrants in general, because this is not only Latino. We have, as you said, voices from North America, the indigenous voices and the native voices here, the Afro
Yeah.
um, culture. So it's about, we are navigating these hybrid identities that sometimes we could be confused by some narratives,
Yeah.
but then these films bring something that is more meaningful, and it's not about judging, it's about sharing. that's what it is important
Absolutely.
to affirm.
And I have about a minute or so left. Is there a particular film or filmmaker in this year's festival that you feel personally connected to? That's something that's touched your heart?
Yeah. Well, as a mother of films, I always say that all of them are really good and are great. But there are two stories that really connected to personally. One is called Stories or Historias, that is by Paco Sepulveda. And these are, he created like tells very small short stories, but all of them are connected to started with the born of someone and the death of someone else, and they all connected together to create this kind of very interesting and very delicate, poetic and magical story of what happened in the life of someone, like all the challenges that we face
Yeah.
daily. And the other one is the closing night film that is about how the mask of the Native Americans were took away from some artists in the 40s and 50s, and they were not recognized, and they were kind of like they were this cultural appropriation. And only now that this filmmaker comes and make the link between those two, that you can see how those stories have shaped us, and famous painters, famous artists created based on that, but never gave recognition to those.
Diana, where can people go to find out more about all the wonderful things that you're doing?
Yes, it's very easy. It's TAFFNY.com, www.taffny.com.
And people should go and
thank
check.
you.
People say it in Spanish. People should go and check you out because.
Porque the festival, you are saying, or the festival, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous and I don't know why. Porque somos un festival que representa las Américas, representa las historias de todos los que vinimos a esta ciudad a aportar y a hacerla mejor.
Perfecto.
Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you so much. There she is, Diana Vargas, film programmer and CUNY TV senior producer. We thank you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much for
Good
having
luck
me.
with everything. All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next.